Hello, welcome to Empyrean's Oracle. Today we are going to be doing a reading on how you can get a new job. This is perfect for someone who is currently in a job that they don't like and they're looking for a new one, someone who's never had a job before, someone who maybe is going back into the workforce after being out for a long time. Is suitable for many different people. So just choose any of the 5 piles. Maybe there's a way that cards are sticking out that draws you to that particular pile, or maybe pick a number that you prefer between 1 and 5. It's up to you, but let's get started. Pile number 1, hello, hello, hello. Let's just jump right into it. So we have Luna, study astrology, partnerships and alliances, ring, agreement, pact, cycles, promise, karma, closure, circle of trust, committed, contracts, partnership, reaping what you sow. Red herring, misleading information, misguide, divergent tactic, throw off scent, false flag, purposeful, distraction, look here, not there. We have opportunities, woman holding a heart, Mintaken, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. The initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. I don't know why I did that intonation at the end right there. Receiving elation, I am born of infinite joy. And then we have rewiring the nervous system. I find strength in surviving my traumas. So this is really interesting because I'm kind of getting the feeling that you are coming out of, or you are currently in a really bad work environment or experience, but you still seem very hopeful. It's not like this experience sort of made you feel like you're never going to find a better job. I think that if anything, this experience is so bad that you're thinking to yourself, there's no way that any other job is worse than this. So that feeling and that knowing is almost bringing you hope. I'm going to start with the red herring because that's kind of what has led me to view your reading in this way. I sort of feel like the what you were told about this job before you took it is a lot different from how the job actually is. Obviously, in a lot of jobs, people leave out the aspects of it that are horrible, but I feel like for your job specifically, maybe the job description is completely different than what you're actually doing on a day-to-day basis. Maybe you were promised more money, maybe you were promised opportunities to move up, and that just hasn't happened. And I feel like when it comes to your job, I feel like people hide things from you. Because even with Luna, even with the Luna card, I just feel like things were hidden from you with your job. Even once you started working there, it seems like people are just very, very secretive. It may feel like people have ulterior motives. However, there might be someone in your job who you're particularly close to. Maybe you and this person view the job the same way. Maybe you guys both agree on the fact that things aren't right, or that you guys aren't being treated fairly, or that you guys both agree that maybe the higher up should communicate with you all more, or communicate more effectively. It feels like there's someone who you're on the same page with. It also sort of feels like you're at a point where you're ready for your job to represent not just what you're skilled at and what you're talented at but like represent what means a lot to you. Because you can be good at piano, but that doesn't mean that that's what you want to do. That doesn't mean that piano means a lot to you. It just means you're good at it. Now, can you be good at piano and it also can mean a lot to you? Of course, but that's not everyone's story. And I feel like for you, you may be talented and skilled at a lot of different things, but I feel like there are very few things that mean enough to you for you to want to pursue it professionally. Up until this point, you sort of just been going where the wind takes you, going where the best opportunity is, going where, the most amount of money is. But it seems like now you're at a point where you want to work at a job that means a lot to you. And I feel like with the study astrology, that's sort of what I'm basing this interpretation off of. I feel like you are someone who's very spiritual. You might be interested in getting into like a like the spiritual field in some way, or maybe you don't want to be in the spiritual field, but your spirituality is guiding you towards a particular field, okay? I feel like your heart is just so pure. And it doesn't seem like you've been like broken down by this experience, which is really beautiful. Um, I was thinking, I keep looking at this partnership card and then the ring card, and then the red herring and the secrets are over here. It's just the way I place it. I wasn't even thinking about the way I placed it. I just placed it to make it look symmetrical, but these are like different sides of something, like a contract where you trust the people you're working with, where these people you actually want to work with, and then here it's just all secrets. Maybe you have like two options. Maybe two options that has been presented to you. Staying in a job or getting a job that maybe pays a decent amount, but you may not be like the job description might not match what you're actually doing, or taking a risk and working with someone who you trust. It's almost like this one seems more like a sure thing in the short term, but this one might be more of a sure thing in the long term. That's sort of what it's feeling like. But what's great is that with you, I'm seeing that no matter what you do, I feel like you're going to end up being fine. This doesn't feel like one of those situations where if you choose a particular path, like your life is going to go crazy. And I don't believe that. I feel like no matter what happens to you, no matter what direction you go, you're always going to find your way back to what's in your heart and what feels special to you, because it seems like you're guided by your heart. That's why staying in this job doesn't feel right to you. So yeah, no matter what happens, you're going to be fine. I really do believe that. And yeah, you've been through a lot with the I find strength in surviving my traumas, but like I said, you haven't let that get in the way of how you treat people, how you see the world. It's really beautiful. Okay, well, should I put this back? I don't know. I mean, I already put them back. Okay, let's just move them off to the side. Let's put them right here. Let me actually just put them off to the side. Okay, so let's get into the tarot reading, pile one. So first one, we're gonna do step one of how to get a new job. What's gonna be your first step? Queen of Pentacles. I feel like prioritizing the jobs that are in your community, the opportunities in your community. So if you're someone who was like maybe looking in another state or in another city, Spirit might be saying that that a job that might be best for you is actually more local than you think. Step two. It's also something about like making sure your home is in the best shape it can be. So I don't know if an opportunity for you, or the best opportunity for you, may actually be like a work from home opportunity. So like making sure that maybe your home is a bit nicer, a bit cleaner, so you are able to set up a little workstation. That might be helpful for you. Let's do step two. Judgment. I feel like maybe step two is you realizing that in your particular like job search, it feels like there are a lot of elements that are out of your hands, because maybe you've put in 100 or so applications. Maybe you've used your network. Maybe you've exhausted your network. You've been looking on LinkedIn, looking on Indeed, everywhere. So you might get to a point where like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it up to the universe at this point and see what happens. It could also be like maybe you are like letting go of certain people, letting go of certain networks, and trying to find a job in other places that maybe you weren't looking before. See step three. We have the Tower. Kind of like that, because you need that sometimes. Sometimes you need your life to be leveled in order to start fresh and have a new beginning. So I don't see this as a bad thing. Okay? A tower moment can be very refreshing, actually. Okay, let's get another deck out. Let's look at your current challenges. Current challenges and obstacles to finding a new job. We have the Hanged Man. Yeah, it just feels like there are things that are out of your hand. You also may feel as though you are not fit for the current job market. Maybe there are certain needs that you have that most jobs are not able to accommodate. Maybe there are certain skills you have that are a little bit more niche, and it's difficult to find jobs that require that skill set. I just feel like this is something that a lot of people are going through now, where it's like they get specializations, but then a lot of other people are getting those same specializations and certifications and what have you, and then it becomes saturated. So then it feels like you're back at square one, when the education, the time, money, energy you put in to being able to have a job, it feels like it was all for nothing. Okay, there's some other challenges. You have Strength. Yeah, I feel like you're just sick and tired right now. You've been looking for a job for a long time. Or you could just be just tired of the whole market, tired of working, period. Because I don't know, just the way that this is illustrated, it almost feels like activism. So I feel like you could maybe be in a camp where it's like, I don't want to work anymore, like at all. Like I want to find other things to do that are able to make me money. I want to be able to provide for my family without killing myself, right? Okay, let's see current advantages. Current advantages. You have the Knight of Swords. I feel like you're very adaptable. You also learn quickly. Those are things that are going to come in handy, and you may want to highlight that on your resume, and in a way that's professionally worded, but that is your biggest strength. I also feel like when you are given a task, you work on it until it's done. Like you're not someone who discovers a problem and then like puts it at the corner of your desk to be unearthed months later. Like no, as soon as a problem comes up, you're gonna fix it. You're gonna find a solution almost immediately. Okay, so you're a problem solver. That's what you are. You need to make sure you highlight that in some way, like in interviews or things like that. There might also be something about you where you may feel the need to be more passive. You may feel the need to make other people feel as though you don't run the show, but I feel like the job or jobs that are best for you are ones where they want to see that part of you. They want to see the person who is going to take charge and fix problems, maybe even before they happen. And that's something that you are very skilled at. So I really need you to understand that you cannot make yourself smaller. If you're someone who is a problem solver and a fixer, don't go into an interview and be like, yeah, I guess I'm good at solving problems. Like you need to be like, no, when a problem comes up, I'm there. I'm gonna work at that problem until it's solved and until it never happens again. You need to make sure you're bringing that energy at interviews because people want to see that, right? If you're interviewing for a company that is worth millions of dollars, they want to know that if a problem comes up, that you can be the one to handle it. Okay, so you need to bring that energy with you into job interviews. You need to make sure that energy is clear on your resume. Like seriously. There's some other advantages. We have the Four of Wands. Yeah, I feel like this just kind of goes along with the adaptability. I feel like when you start a job, you fit in quite nicely. I just feel like you're someone who's very pleasant to be around. You get along nicely with people. And I feel like with the Queen of Pentacles and the Four of Wands, it's sort of giving that you know how to make a house a home, both in like a literal way, but also in a figurative way. Like wherever you are, you make it a very pleasant environment. And that's like such a special quality about you. And I hope you understand that you're not unimportant. You're extremely important. You're valuable. And people recognize that once you're in the workplace. Like people may be more motivated. People may be more interested in the work. People might feel better about coming to work because you're there. So I really need you to understand that, okay? Those are like huge advantages for you. So also when you're looking for jobs, also highlight the fact that you're a team player. Like you're able to take charge, but you're also able to work with other people, okay? Because you don't want employers to think that you're going to take charge at the expense of other people, right? You want to make sure that they understand that you can do both, right? Because that's what you're best at. Okay, are there any people who can help them? Are there any people who can help? Pile one. Any people who can help? Geez. Star. I can read this two ways. The first way is that you're so special that like the person who can help you the best is yourself. Or I can read it as there's someone who you know, or at least someone who you're aware of, who is such a clear person to go to for help finding a job that it's like, why haven't you gone to this person already? Okay, I can read it both ways. So I don't know, like if it's the latter, is it someone you just don't want to talk to because it like opens up that line of communication again and you just want that line of communication to be dead? Or if it's the former where it's like you're the answer, that puts a lot of pressure on you because if you're the answer and you don't know what to do, then it feels like you don't got an answer. So, what do they, okay, if they are the only person who can help themselves, what do they need to do? Like, what's the obvious thing that they need to do right now to find a job? King of Swords. Speaking, motivating, teaching. You're a leader, but I feel like you are a leader in the sense that your words motivate people. Okay? This isn't giving like Knight, King of Wands energy. It's giving King of Swords. Your voice is what's most important about you. The way you speak to people, the way you write. That's what you need to focus on. Okay, if the person who can help them is a specific person outside of them, it can also be an institution. Like there might be an institution that can help you find a job. You just like have been avoiding like the plague. If it's an outside person or institution, tell me about them. Give me some of their qualities so they can identify them. We have two. We have Eight of Pentacles and the Hierophant. Yeah, it's an institution. If this is a person outside of you, or I mean, if it's an external factor that can help you, it is an institution. It is like a training institution, or it's just like a school. You might have to go back to school, my friend. Or maybe you're interested in like a teaching position. I can read it both ways. Because the King of Swords, I mean, I kind of see the King of Swords as like a non-traditional teacher. Like they may teach people without even being in a teaching position. It's just the way they speak to people and the way their mind works. They just naturally help people and teach people things. But then the Hierophant is like an actual teacher. I mean, they can also be sort of non-traditional. Like they may not be in like a school, but they're more of a traditional teacher than the King of Swords. So whatever it is, you're a teacher. Eight of Pentacles, that's covering. Like behind this is this. It's either you going back to school to learn yourself or you going back to school to teach people, or both. But something you have to pay attention to. Maybe you've been trying to like avoid teaching at this particular place, but I don't know. Have they taught at this place before? What does this mean to them? Like, what is the significance of this institution to them? How do they feel about it? Three of Swords. This institution healed you. They healed you. But maybe it's like one of those things where it's like, even though you don't dislike a person or an institution, it's just like that feeling of going back. It may make you feel like you are moving backwards instead of forwards, which I understand, but it might be worth going back to the place that healed you, even if it brings back reminders of who you were before it helped heal you, right? Okay, let's go to skills they need to work on. What skills does pile 1 need to work on? Give me 3. 1. Ooh. Thanks so much. You gave me 4. Wheel of Fortune. These are the only ones that came out, so I'm going to read these first. I mean, they came out upright. Wheel of Fortune and 9 of Pentacles. See, like, both of these, Judgment and Wheel of Fortune, have an element of fate, and also the Tower, because that's out of your hand. So there's an element of things being out of your hands. It's almost like you need to learn how to be okay with that. You need to learn how to help yourself as well, because I think there are some times where things feel so out of your hands that you feel helpless. But for you, you are someone who is so resourceful that you don't have to feel helpless. It feels like there's always something you can do. That's how much people like you and how much value you bring to the world. Is even in moments where life is difficult, there's always something that you specifically can do because of how valuable your voice is, how valuable your work is, how valuable your teaching methods are. Okay, we have 2 of Pentacles and 4 of Pentacles. Something also about like responsibilities, because 2 of Pentacles, they have to learn how to manage both of these things, and 4 of Pentacles, they're managing this, but at a certain point, you shouldn't just want stability. At a certain point, you should also want stability and growth, okay? Or to at least keep growing and then stabilize, growing and then stabilize. So yeah, I feel like there's like a moving up element to this where you may want to just go straight to the top, but there are still things you need to learn. There are still things you have to do. So don't be afraid of starting small. And listen, even if you are worried that starting a specific position is going to put you backwards, it may to a small extent, but I feel like for you, you're going to skip a few steps along the way. So don't worry about things taking like a crazy long time. I don't think it will. At least like when it comes to finding a job and enjoying that job, I don't think it's going to take a long time for you to do that. But there is a feeling of you need to learn something. You also need to teach. Like going back to your old stomping grounds, and you need to be reminded that you're always a student. You're always a student. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be embarrassed by that. Don't think to yourself, oh, why am I back here? I was just here. Sometimes there are still things you need to learn from that place, from the people there, okay? Yeah, like just the 2 going to the 4. Even when you go back to the bottom, you're going to end up skipping a few steps, okay? So don't worry about it. Okay, where can they look? Let me actually get the other one. Where can they look for jobs? Where can they look for jobs? Where can they look? What direction should they be looking in for jobs? Ooh, God, those almost all just fall. I'm going to take the top one. King of Pentacles reversed. Where to look? It's almost like looking in places that don't seem like they're gonna make you a good amount of money or don't seem like they are the right fit for you. Something about like a non-traditional job is what it also feels like. You know, a lot about like being on your own, so you may end up having like your own business that's non-traditional. Maybe you can learn from other people who have their own businesses. You have the Hanged Man again. Where to look? Yeah, I feel like you have to look in places that are least expected. Look in places that don't seem like they can help you. I feel like the job that you're going to find that's going to actually be right fit for you is the job that you're telling yourself, I would never do that in a million years. Or the job that you hear people say, why would you want to do that? That you're not going to make any money, or you're better than that job, or whatever. It's the job that does not seem like it'll be helpful to you. And let me tell you something. When this Hanged Man is upside down, this is what the King of Pentacles looks like to it, okay? To us right now, the King of Pentacles, which is someone who's wealthy, doesn't look so wealthy. But to the Hanged Man, the one, the King of Pentacles is actually upright, because this person is the one who's upside down. Okay, am I explaining that correctly? Because when the Hanged Man turns his head, the King of Pentacles is upright. So it's the place you would least expect, but you also have to open your eyes. It's a place you would least expect, but it's also a place you either been to before, a place that you frequent, a place like this where we said it's a place that actually healed you, that maybe took you in and helped you out in a time of need. That might be the place you got to go back to. Okay? Okay, Spirit, where should they stop looking? Where should they stop looking? Ten of Swords. Stop looking in places you've already been looking. Like, there are some jobs where, like, you're on the website every day looking for a position. That's not the job that's best for you. The job that's best for you is the one where you have actually been avoiding their job site like the plague. Okay? The job where you're like, I would never do that. Okay? Where to stop looking? Knight of Pentacles. Hey, I don't know why his helmet kind of looks like a carrot. I feel like, have you been looking at like startups? Stop looking at startups. Okay? That's not going to be the job that's best for you. And also, please do not apply to jobs that are like in the midst of like bankruptcy proceedings. Please don't do that. Okay? Please look up the businesses you're applying to. Okay, now let's look what jobs would be best for them. Oh, you know what I might use? I might use these little cards. Let's actually hope that they give me something good, because sometimes just the way that they read is interesting. Let's see. Where are some jobs that might be good for them? Ooh. Religion involved. So it could be, speaking about faith. What else? Get creative. That's different. Those are like polar opposites. There's some jobs that would be good for them. Some jobs that would be good for them. Oops. Divine Feminine. It's like a mermaid, so something to do with water. Direct those around you. So supervisor. Prepare for the rain. Yeah, I just feel like whatever job you go into, it's not going to be sunshine and rainbows, but it's going to be worth it. Okay. Let me also get some other examples. I don't want it to get too convoluted, but like, give me some more job examples. Material harvest, Nine of Pentacles. Again, self-employment. There's also a lot of examples about like growing your own food. Maybe it could be something like that. Give me some examples of jobs that would be good for them, just to get their ideas, some ideas flowing. This is Two of Pentacles. Wait, what? Yeah, Two of Pentacles in reverse. We have upright here and then reverse. So sticking to one thing. This isn't a situation where there's going to be more, like you're going to be working two jobs. Like you have to stick to one thing. It might be a job where like you don't have time to do anything else. That's also another thing I'm getting. Maybe that's why you need like good time management and stuff. What's the examples of jobs? Universe. I feel like the reason why the career examples are so varied is because even though I told you that there's like a specific place that you should go back to, I feel like Spirit's saying no matter what you end up doing, you're going to be fine, just because you learn from people wherever you go, and you also teach people wherever you go. And both of those things are a gift. Both of those things are your purpose. Like, your purpose is to teach, but your purpose is also to learn. Okay? So no matter where you go, both of those things are going to happen. Okay? Let's get some Power of Surrender cards. Get 3. Surrender your fear of intimacy. You're ready to let love in, compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. Yeah, I wonder if you not wanting to go back to this place is because, like, maybe there's someone who still works there who, like, you had a crush on or something, or maybe you guys were intimate or whatever, but don't let that stop you from finding a job that's best for you. Another one. Surrender to play. Take a break from overthinking a goal. Do something fun. Play is a time of recreation, rejuvenation. I don't know if you could also have like experience with like a rec center. I don't know why that's kind of coming up, but yeah, that could also be a job that you may actually enjoy for the most part. You know, I feel like they're all jobs have a part that you'd rather not do, but a rec center might be also a good job for you. Surrender frustration. Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so you may approach the situation more calmly. Yeah, so even if like this place brings back bad memories, it's okay to acknowledge that it does. You know, like, you're not a bad person for saying that, hey, even though you helped me, I kind of don't want to be around you. That's fine. But just acknowledge that that still might be a place that is best for you to work at right now, or at least even if you don't work there, going back there and maybe speaking to people who are there, speaking about opportunities that either are there or that they know of outside of that institution, that can also be helpful and beneficial to you. Okay, thank you so much for watching this reading. I hope it was helpful to you, and I also hope you have a good day. Bye. Pile number 2. Hello. Let's get started. So first card we have is 5th house, creativity. We have drugs involved. We have emotional loss. Milky Way, networking, marketing, internet fame, expand, spotlight, innumerable, social media, publicity, connected, and exposure. Crow, memories, remembering, mystery, magical power, a new event or happening, clever problem solver, observant, and omen. Challenges. And then we have journey. And when I tell you, I remember when I was shuffling, this card like came out the deck just like this, right on top of you guys' pile of cards. So it's like, whatever journey you're currently on, it was like predestined. Okay, so when you think to yourself, am I on the right path? You are on the right path. We have the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hit Soul Tribe. I literally just said you're on the right path, and it said it's all coming together. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Inspiring others. I help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts. Okay, so in order for you to know if this is your reading, I'm just going to speak a little bit about where you currently are in life. So with the emotional loss, I feel like that's connected to drugs involved. Maybe you recently could have had like a devastating experience. Like, maybe you lost someone, either like they passed away or you just stopped being friends with them, and that just brought a lot of turmoil into your life. Also, I mean, drugs involved, it can mean that maybe you're taking medication, or maybe you have been dabbling with like substances or whatever because you've just been going through a lot. Let me move over here first. So with Milky Way, networking, marketing, internet, it seems like maybe you could have discovered like a little bit of fame in your field or on social media, or both. And it could have been for your creativity. And I wonder if the the fame could have made you think like, oh, this can improve my life. Like, maybe I can make this a job, a career. Okay, and it seems like that is what you're doing. So I'm kind of assuming that maybe there's some self-employment. Or you could have kept your day job, and you're doing something that is creating fame for you or creating a little bit of buzz. Okay, so I could think of this as one of two things. Like you have a job right now, but then you also have something you do on the side that is creating buzz for you. I can see a second way where it's like you have a job that's creating buzz for you, but then you have a hobby on the side that is or isn't creating buzz for you. And then the third thing is that maybe the job you are currently working at is creating buzz for you. Okay. I hope I didn't already say that, but all I mean is like it could either be your day job or your side job that's creating buzz for you, or both. Um, but yeah, it seems like there's a lot of pressure that's coming with it, or maybe you are already experiencing like emotional problems before you started experiencing buzz, or starting experiencing like a little bit of fame or notoriety. And you may also feel like you've had a string of bad luck, and you could even be confused why I said at the beginning that you're on the right path, because you're like, my life is horrible right now. How the hell am I on the wrong? How the hell am I on the right path? But I do feel like what it is that you're going through, I don't want you to feel shame about it. I do feel like you were almost destined to go through certain experiences, and I don't mean that to say you deserved it. I mean it to say, please take the pressure off of yourself, because it wasn't your fault. You had nothing to do with that happening, okay? Whatever it is that happened. So if you're blaming yourself for something, it's not your fault. Please know that. But I really want you to know that everything that's happening right now, it's all coming together for a particular purpose. We're gonna look at what that purpose is just before we get into tarot, because I feel like right now I'm speaking in very vague terms. It's because I don't really know what's going on. Let's see, Spirit, what's their purpose? This is like, if this is tied to your career or not, I just want to know that, because this, even just these set of cards feel very purpose focused. Here, what's their purpose? Six of Pentacles. You're supposed to give. You're a giver. It could also be like you selling stuff. Let me know. Giving. It's either like giving to give, like from the good of your heart, or giving to get something in return. Yeah, it is that. So maybe you sell artwork, or you sell something. And then Six of Cups. Maybe this is something you've been doing for a really long time, but then both these cards say memories. So is your purpose like going back to doing something you did as a kid, or going back to do something you did like in your adolescent years? It could also be doing something that someone you loved encouraged you to do. And maybe that person passed away, or that person, you're just not friends with them, but I wonder if maybe there's some hesitance when it comes to you pursuing it, because it's like it reminds you of them. But it is your purpose. Okay, let's move all of this over. And then I might just take all of them. Okay, so let's get into the tarot. So first, let's go in regards to how you are going to get your new job, or how to get a new job. Let's look at step one. That came out quickly. Three of Wands. So with this, it feels like you've already done what you need to do. When I see Three of Wands, I think of that as like you sending in the application, then being in a waiting period, waiting for them to respond with maybe a second interview, waiting for them to give a rejection, waiting for them to give an acceptance. Like it's like a waiting period. You've already done what you had to do. So that's pretty much step one. Step two is the Empress. I feel like step two is you almost realizing your worth. I feel like there have been many times in your life where you questioned, maybe, can I actually work a job? Can I actually work the job that I want to work? Do I have what it takes? So I feel like either during this waiting period, you're going to have to work on your self-worth and your confidence, or after you hear back from prospective employers, it's going to be clear that you need to work on your self-worth. Like maybe they might give you advice such as, talk more about yourself, or be more forthcoming with your positive personality traits. I don't know. It's just like they may say something to you that makes you think like, damn, I need to get my confidence up a little bit. It's almost like sometimes when you go to interviews, you feel as though you're not able to show people who you are in your entirety, and it feels so stifling, the interview process, that it sort of makes you look like a car, like to employers, it makes you seem like a cardboard cutout. Not to be offensive, but that's just what it feels like. They don't really get to see you as a person. And even though, yes, employers at the end of the day, they need bodies, they also need to see that you are a person with emotions, a person who, you know, has their own unique qualities. And I think that sometimes when you go into interviews, people aren't able to see that. Um, so I do think that going through the interview process and maybe experiencing rejections, or maybe them giving you advice, is going to help you work on your self-confidence. Step 3. It's so strange. Like, you are such a beautiful, lively person, but I feel like people don't usually see that. And maybe it's because the challenges you've been through have, I don't mean to be rude when I say this, but I feel like they've sort of dulled you a little bit. I don't want you to see that as like a slight. I want you to know that, like, you are capable of shining so bright. Like, your light, I'm feeling it, it's like it's so beautiful. But you have to let people experience it too, or else they're not gonna see it. They're not gonna experience it. They're not gonna feel it. But the thing is, sometimes you have to recognize that that's it within you first before people are able to see that. Okay, let's look at step 3 for how to get a new job. The Devil. Yeah, you might have to make some sacrifices. And for those spiritual people who see that as like me telling them to drink blood and stuff, that's not what I'm talking about. I mean, like, when I say make sacrifices, you may have this idea in your head that you need to work a job that's work from home. Well, honey, you may have to go into the office. And that's what I mean. Like, you may have to give up the idea of the perfect job, at least temporarily, okay? You may have to just give up certain things that you needed in a job, or thought you needed in a job, in order to get a job. Okay, let's look at current challenges. Let's look at current challenges and obstacles. We have the Queen of Cups and the Moon. You're very sensitive, but I am too, so it's okay. You're very sensitive and sweet, and like this whole job process, like, it's breaking you down, man. And I think that sometimes, like, rejections can feel like they are rejecting you. And it's like, no, that's not what it is. They don't know you, so they can't reject you as a person. They're just rejecting you as an idea, basically. They don't really know you. I also think that you might be a little bit hard to read, but it's like, that's not going to stop me from helping this company or this business or this organization. Like, why do you need to read me? You understand what I'm saying? I get it. But sometimes you got to play the game to get a job. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just what it is for right now. I feel like also maybe there might be some restrictions. There was the card that says drugs involved, so I do think that maybe you may have a history of like substance use or mental illness, and that may be barriers to you getting certain jobs. You may also have experiences like maybe like run-ins with the law that could be making it difficult for you to get a job. So it's like, I in no way am trying to minimize your experiences. Like, it's hard. Okay, it's hard out here. What are some other obstacles? 5 of Cups. Did we just see that? Yeah, it was 5 of Cups before. Another obstacle, 5 of Cups reversed. It's like you're coming out of like a really bad experience. Like, maybe you were just in rehab, or maybe you just got out of jail, or maybe you just like are recovering from mental illness. And it's like it's taking a lot out of you. Like, that in itself is difficult, but that paired with trying to look for a job, it makes both of those processes difficult. So I feel for you, okay? And then let's look at current advantages. Let's look at some advantages. Let's look at some advantages. I'm not going to get that because it was like current advantages. The Magician. You have a lot to work with. And even with the Empress, I feel like you are a creator at heart. Like, you can be given BS and turn it into something beautiful. And I feel like there may have been times in your life where people have tried to sabotage you by not giving you what you needed, but you were still able to come out on top because you were able to work with very little and turn it into something beautiful. That's like your best asset. That is like a gift of yours, a true gift. You do not need a lot to make your life beautiful. You don't. And you're very, very strong. Very, very, very strong. You're a strong person, okay? That is an extreme advantage for you. And also, you're someone who, you don't want someone to like hold your hand. Like, you want someone to teach you something once and then you can do it yourself. It's like that saying, give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish and he'll eat for the rest of his life. I feel like for you, you don't like people holding your hand. You like them to like teach you and then go away so you can make magic with it on your own. Okay? That's who you are. Current advantage. I feel like that also means that you enjoy learning. Okay? Knight of Wands. You're, like I said before, you're tough. Okay? And I think that sometimes you can also be a little bit stubborn. But I feel like that's an advantage for you because you might be the type of person who like keeps applying to a particular job, and it's like maybe 1 year you go in for an interview and then they reject you, and then the next year they like forget, they like don't remember your name, so like they bring you in for another interview and they're like, hey, wait a minute, don't we know you? And you're like, yeah. So that even when you get rejected, you might still keep applying to the same job, which for you might not be a bad thing. I feel like in pile one, the reading was looking like, you know, they should stop applying for the same jobs. But I feel like for you, it might not be a bad idea to circle back and apply for jobs that you applied to a long time ago. And I feel like that stubbornness might stand out, even though right now you're in a place where it's difficult for you to show your true self because you're just going through a lot. I think that your stubbornness and your dedication to getting a freaking job might show employers like, hey, they really want this. If they want this so badly, let's give them a chance. Okay, so let's look at some other advantages. And also, you're very competitive. So if you are applying to jobs that like requires that competitive spirit, that may also stand out to employers. Another thing is that you may not look like you have a lot going for you, but you do. I think that there are some people who underestimate you, and that may actually be an advantage because you're almost like a silent assassin. Not like a literal way, but I just feel like because people underestimate you, that makes it easier for you to move right past them because they're not paying attention to you. They're not worried about you. So let's say, for example, you are, let me actually give you a personal example. So I used to be on the basketball team at my school. I actually wasn't good. I was actually horrible. I was only good at shooting, but I feel like basketball is more than that. But anyways, like we were a team, like we lost all the games. This is in high school, by the way. We lost all the games. However, there was just one school that the first game we had with them, they blew us out of the water. Then the second game, they were not expecting us to have learned so much in the time between the first game and this second game that we were beating them up until like third or fourth quarter. Okay, because they weren't expecting much from us because previously they blew us out of the water. So I feel like for you, people underestimating you is a good thing because it gives you the opportunity to move far ahead of them because they're not paying attention to you. It's like a protective measure so people like leave you alone. Because sometimes with strong people who are like outwardly strong, they pick on you because they're trying to break you down. But for you, you may not seem strong on the outside, but you are on the inside, and that makes people leave you alone and and underestimate you, which, like I said, leaves you to like move far ahead of them and get past them. Let's see, skills they need to work on. Oh no, hold on. I skipped a whole section. Let's look at people who can help. Who are some people who can help them? Six of Wands. Remember we said something about like fame earlier? Are you friends with like famous people, or friends with people who like got a lot of money or got a lot of buzz in the neighborhood or the town or the state? You may have ties. I feel like those people can help you find a job. It might be like a you scratch my back, I scratch your sort of situation though. So like if there's like a famous person, or you know, maybe like a local celebrity who can help you find a job, maybe offer them something too. I mean, it shouldn't be like that, but sometimes it helps sweeten the deal. You know what I mean? Let's look at skills they need to work on. The Emperor, yep. Listen, I feel like you do have what it takes to be a leader. You just have to learn to bring those qualities out of you, okay? Okay. Like it's not even, but whatever. Okay, so yeah, you have what it takes to be a leader. You're very strong. Like, I feel like in order to be truly strong, you can't just be strong outwardly. It shouldn't just be like the first thing people notice. It should also be something that is constant within you, and you are strong constantly within yourself. Okay, it's just a matter of bringing that out. Skills I need to work on. Also something about like meditation. I know. Oh, I said also something about meditation, and the bottom of the deck is Temperance. I feel like you, with all the emotional turmoil you've been through, it might be helpful to have a mindfulness ritual. I think it'd be very beneficial to you. Also, maybe something about like spell work. Like you might like herbs and things like that and use it to cast spells. Okay, so we have Magician and then Knight of Wands. They're holding like a wand in their hands, and these people are holding wands. So just something to think about. What other skills they need to work on? Six of Pentacles. Was this in the last part? Generosity. Yeah, like it says your purpose has to do with giving. So another skill you need to work on is generosity, or maybe accepting help. Yeah, I think that might be it. You need to work on accepting help from other people. Because there are people who want to help you, but they can't help you if you don't accept their help. Maybe also you might avoid asking for help because they might ask you for something in return and you feel like you don't have anything to give. That can also be another aspect of it. Other skills they need to work on. Page of Wands. I just feel like you bringing out your own unique qualities. Because the Page of Wands, they march to the beat of their own drum. They don't care who's around them. I feel like that's who you are at your core, but you sort of lost it over the years just because you've been through so much. But like I said, it's going to help you because you have a personality that's so unique and it shines. And it's making me smile because it's so beautiful, but you need to bring that out. Okay. Let me get another deck for the last part. Okay, so let's look at where to look for jobs. Where should they look for jobs? Ace of Wands. It could be like a startup maybe, or maybe a company organization that just opened, institution that just opened. And it might require you to move. Because, you know, this Three of Wands, they're looking out to the sea. And here, they're in like a more rural area, but then you see the city in the background. So I feel like it might require you to relocate. Okay, so don't be afraid of looking at jobs that require relocation. It's interesting, I say that, but like the Empress is firmly rooted, the Emperor is firmly rooted. But I wonder if that's just saying you need to be firmly rooted in yourself. You need to know yourself on a deep level, so wherever you go, you're gonna be fine. Maybe for a certain time you just stay where you are, but I feel like don't be afraid to also look at jobs that are far away. Another thing is don't be afraid to look at jobs that are like Don't be afraid to look at companies that are based in an area far away from you, but have opportunities that are local, okay? Where else can they look for jobs? Look for jobs. I think you're also afraid of change. That might be why you have been looking locally, but don't be afraid to venture out. King of Pentacles. It's interesting because like Ace of Wands makes me feel like a job that isn't established, but then King of Pentacles makes me feel like a job that is very established. Or it could be looking in places where like the person is the business rather than the name being the business. So for example, the King of Pentacles would be like, what's like a good brand? The King of Pentacles would be like Sacred. You know that's Beyonce's brand, right? It's like, it's not like Old Navy where you don't know who runs it. So yeah, don't be afraid of looking in places where it's like not a traditional business, where it's like a specific person, a specific famous person is the business, is the brand, is how the business represents itself. You know, maybe this person is like hiring an assistant for the first time or something like that. I don't know. Where else to look? King of Swords. These people are both like older. Like this person's maybe like mid-40s and this person's like 80s maybe. So you may end up working for a company that's very old and established. You may end up working for a person who is like maybe 40s to 80s. Okay. Like I said, they're very established. They know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a long time. And they just might need some help. Maybe they need like a younger face, a fresher face. I don't know. Maybe they need someone who just helps out with day-to-day tasks. Not sure. King of Swords may also be like you working in like a nursing home, honestly. I don't know. I feel like both of these people could be people who might be sick. I don't know why I'm getting that from both these cards. Like you might be working for someone who has like an illness. And it's like you're helping nurse them back to health or something. I don't know why I'm getting that. We have 9 of Wands. Where else to look? Defending something that is established. It's so interesting. I can't remember if I said this in this part, the last one, but I said like don't look at businesses that are like failing or filing for bankruptcy. But it's like I feel like a job for you might be a business that's like in need of revitalization or something, or that is slowly dying and needs some help getting it back on track and getting it moving up again. Like you're gonna help with that. And I know there's a party that's like, I don't have what it takes to do that. You do. That's all I'm gonna say. Where to stop looking? Where to stop? I feel like you're also like a very talented writer, and you may help. I don't know. I mean, like maybe like press briefings, child. I don't know. You're a very talented writer, but you're also great at encouraging people and like motivating them to believe certain things, which is a really powerful combination. Okay, it's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. Where to stop looking? Where to stop looking? Where to stop looking? Knight of Swords. Maybe stop looking in places that are like always hiring, or places that I don't know why I'm also getting maybe stop looking in places that have like hundreds of thousands of employees. Another thing, maybe stop looking at places that have burned you in the past. Because you see how this person, their hand is like wrapped up and they have a knife. Like, you shouldn't have a knife when you go to apply to jobs. Okay, so don't apply to jobs that have like burned you in the past, or that like didn't respond to you and whatever. Like, I know for you, I said before, double back, but double back with the jobs that rejected you or gave you advice and rejected you. Don't double back on jobs that never responded to you, okay? Another thing. It's funny because with these trees in the background, the wind is like blowing them this way, but this person's going in the opposite direction of the wind. So I feel like this is saying, let's see. Stop going in the direction that no one else is going. Okay, like, so it's like spirit doesn't want you to go to extremes. Don't go towards jobs that everyone and their mom is applying to, but also don't go towards jobs that no one's applying to. You have to find a sweet spot. Okay, don't go for jobs that are hella oversaturated. Go for jobs that have a decent amount of applications, but not too much, not too little. Okay. Because I think you hope you're gonna get lucky by finding very, very niche jobs, but it's like the jobs that's best for you is gonna be the ones that aren't crazy oversaturated, but also aren't like ghost town websites as well. You know what I mean? Where else to stop looking? Where else should they stop looking? Ace of Pentacles. I don't know why it's just been like commission based. Like, stop looking at places that are commission based. And I don't know why, like the hand in Ace of Pentacles is making me think of like a doll hand. So maybe also beware of jobs that look extremely legit but aren't. Because that's how like a lot of jobs kind of operate nowadays. Like, they look real, but they're not. Or at least that's how they look online. Yeah. Stop looking in places where it's like you're being sold a dream, okay? The job that's best for you, it may seem out of this world, or it may seem very unique, but it's not because it's completely out of the realm of possibility. It's just because you never experienced a job that fit you so well before. Okay, so if you see a job and it's like, dang, I've never seen, this job is like winning the lottery, that might not be the job for you. Because the job for you, like I said, it's going to be a great fit, but it's not going to feel like it's out of the realm of possibility. I know people win the lottery, but it's like, that's like a 1 in something chance, you know what I mean? So the job that's best for you, it's not going to feel out of the realm of possibility that can happen. It's going to seem like it's a possibility that it can happen. Okay, let's see, where to stop looking. Ace of Swords. Yes, we have 3 out of 4 aces here. Maybe stop looking in places that like, I wonder, like auto responses to you. Like, if you have a job that like you turned an application and they sent you like an auto response email asking for an interview, don't apply to that job. I mean, don't continue on with that process, please. I mean, if you want to, go ahead, because you're gonna be fine no matter what you do. I don't want you to think that if you do the opposite of what I say, your life's gonna be horrible. No, you're gonna have a beautiful life no matter what you do. But just be mindful, okay? Also, stop looking in places where, I don't know why, it's making me feel like government. So I feel like the job is best for you, it's not going to be a government job. So just be mindful of that. I don't know why that's making me think of government, but it just is. Okay, let's get some Power of Surrender cards out here. Oh no, I also got some cards to signify like what job will be best for you. Okay, so give me some career ideas, some careers they may consider. Some careers they may consider. Face your fears. So it might be a job that's like, it scares you to go for it. But it's like Page of Wands, and you have to be fearless. And also Knight of Wands is also fearless. I mean, Knight of Wands is more fearless than Page of Wands, but they're both pretty fearless. Reminisce on the past. And before it's in memories too. So yeah, it's something like going back to something you did as a kid or something like that. Be courageous. Yeah, it seems like whatever you do, you're gonna have to have like a lot of trust in yourself, a lot of confidence. That's why Spirit wants you to develop your confidence, because that's gonna be very, very important for you. Whatever this job is, you need to be able to face your fears. Maybe some job ideas for them, or like, what are some jobs they may consider working at? Make sure you are clean. Maybe a rehab center, I wonder. Because I did say you may help like revitalize a business, but you may also help people who are sick, like with substance use or with a disorder or something like that. That may also be something you might end up doing. Because even the devil talks about temptations. So you may end up helping people with addiction. You may currently do that. Maybe you did that in the past. Maybe you were friends with an addict and that was the person who hurt you, or the person who passed away. Overextending yourself. Yeah, I feel like whatever job you have, the reason why you need to have a strong hold on yourself and have a great level of confidence is because it's going to take a lot out of you. And also feeling exposed. I feel like you are going to be famous for this. Either like in your community or like on a bigger scale, but like whatever you do, you're going to be famous for it. That's just what I feel, okay? You're going to get notoriety from it. You're going to get, like people may thank you for the work that you do because of how important it is. Okay, let's also get some Power of Surrender cards. Give me one. I'm going to give you three, actually, because I think I did three for the first group. Surrender to rest and sleep, to prevent burnout, slow down, honor your need for quiet time and peaceful sleep to rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. Yeah, okay, just be gentle with yourself. You've gone through a lot. You need rest, okay? We also have surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring you clarity or even solve the problem. Yeah, so like don't feel bad if you're still obsessing over a person or a situation. Like it happens. Like I say, like I continue to say, just be gentle with yourself and have faith that things are going to work out, because I do believe that they will. I feel like no matter what you do, you're going to be fine. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your own power and soar in your life. Remember how I said that people used to like self-sabotage you or underestimate you? I feel like that might be what caused the emotional turmoil, at least like a part of what caused the emotional turmoil. Because I think that having people underestimate you, even if like it motivated you to go further, it still hurts when people don't believe in you. So that maybe is why you've had difficulty believing in yourself, but you have what it takes to have a great job, to have a great life, and you're a great person, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Pile number 3. Hello, hello, hello. And let's get started. So we have Soul or Sun. We have Embrace the Inner Child, Heartache and Loss, Firm Foundation, Clover, Luck, Happy Coincidence, Unexpected Rendezvous, A Fling, Good Fortune, Carefree, A Reward, Flirt, Short-Lived, Swan, Soulmate, Twin Flame, Faith, A Pair of Things, Blooming Love, The One, Deep Soul Connections, Divination, and Fluidity. We have Hurt, number 8. We have The Thinking Man. We have The Thinking Man. This was the this was the deck that, like, I mean, this was the pile that all the cards were coming out reversed, or a lot of them. Lemuria, creating heaven on earth, it's happening, but it came out in reverse. We have yes, just say yes. And then we have I am willing to see things clearly no matter the outcome. Okay, so wait, how come I remember more cards being reversed? Maybe I'm thinking of a different deck, whatever, or a different pile. Okay, so I'm going to start with here, creating heaven on earth. It's happening, but in reverse. I'm kind of wondering if there was like a failed venture, or you took a really great risk and it didn't pay off in the way you wanted it to. Because there's a lot of messages about like heartache, you know, heartache and loss. Wait, why do I, and then hurt? I feel like since I've started this reading, I have made a lot of mistakes and thought that something existed when it actually didn't. So I'm kind of wondering if you were led to believe something that just wasn't true. Because now it's saying, illuminating the truth, I am willing to see things clearly no matter the outcome. I feel like a lot of people have lied to you. And it's led you to sort of question your reality and be like, wait a minute, no, I know that happened. I'm not crazy. And you aren't, okay? Just that right now, I feel like Spirit wants you to prioritize seeing things, seeing things truthfully is the right word. And so that's why like they're sort of making you question yourself. Especially because whatever this venture was, you were so confident that it would happen, that it would work, and it's like it fell apart. And you're like, how could it have fallen apart? I did everything right. Sometimes you can do everything right and it can still fall apart. Like doing everything right isn't a guarantee that things are going to be perfect. And I feel like that was a difficult lesson for you to learn. And also like with the firm foundation and the thinking, man, it's so interesting because like I feel like from the outside looking in, people may assume that you didn't have a plan B, C, and D, that you didn't how do I say this? Like maybe you didn't have the right amount of education, the right amount of skill, but it's like you did. That's what's so interesting about your pile. I'm sorry for the noise. My neighbor is very noisy, but I feel like in your case, you did everything right. You did everything that was expected of you. From the outside looking in, people may assume that you took an extreme risk, but your risk was actually extremely calculated. And I really want you to know you're such a hard worker, but sometimes it's just not in the cards. You understand what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have anything to do with you. In this case, it definitely doesn't, because you did work really, really hard. I'm looking at the thinking man, and I'm also now looking at Clover and Swans, because now we're talking about like partnerships. Remember I did say like you could have been led astray, or maybe you were working on your own and you thought something was one thing when it was actually another thing. If this does have to do with you being led astray, you know, maybe someone pretended to be someone that they weren't, I need you to know that like you trusting them wasn't your fault. Like they're the one who mishandled your trust, okay? So like if anyone's the problem in the situation, it's them. I'm not saying that like whenever we get hurt, like there's never a possibility that we didn't do anything wrong, but it's like I feel like in a lot of cases people spend so much time telling the victim what they did wrong because it protects them. It's almost when I took social psychology last semester, we learned about something called the just world fallacy, and it's basically the idea that in order to protect the idea that the world is a safe place, we have a tendency to come up with reasons why people experience certain things. So we may say, you know, it's because of what she was wearing, it's because they were out at this time of night. But someone can be harmed no matter what time of the day it is, no matter what they're wearing. But I feel like sometimes people, not I feel like, this is actually, you know, scientifically proven, people come up with reasons to justify why bad things happen, to comfort themselves and to convince themselves they could never happen to them. So I feel like in your case, you maybe have spent a lot of time blaming yourself and wondering, you know, how has this happened? How? I did everything right. I trusted them. They never seemed untrustworthy. Okay, I need you to forgive yourself, okay? Like, seriously. And I don't know if the Swans is saying that you guys, I don't know if it's saying that a soulmate is going to come out of this, or that you thought they were your soulmate. I'm not sure, honestly, but we'll look at it in a second. I think also with embrace the inner child, this situation may have like maybe shattered an idea you've had since you were a child. Maybe you tend to put a lot of trust and faith in people, or maybe you spent a lot of time not trusting people, so this experience shattered you even more because of that, because you trusted this person or trusted this idea and it didn't work out. So yeah, that's what we have so far. Okay, let's start off with the This Might Hurt Tarot. So let's start out with step one. What's step one for you getting into, oh Jesus. Step one is the Sun. We keep getting cards that represent truth, and Soul came up before. So first step is facing the truth. What have you not been accepting? And I just read about embrace the inner child, and now we have a child on the card. So there's something that you have not accepted since you were a child, or maybe there is a truth that you held when you were a child that was shattered. You need to get back to that truth. You need to sort of use it to guide you again. What is that truth? Tell me about that. What is this truth? What is this truth that they need to accept? Jesus, all your cards, like this whole reading, it's like very interesting. Choose wisely. Choose what needs to be accepted. That you have a lot of choices, or that you're maybe very multifaceted. I wonder if maybe the reason why the previous venture didn't work out is because you were trying to like pigeonhole yourself. You were trying to convince yourself that you would only be successful at a particular thing when you're good at a lot of things, and you have been since you were a child. I wonder if you were multifaceted as a young child, and then you were sort of guided in a particular direction because now spirit wants you to be reminded of the fact that there are so many things that you can do. What other truths do they need to accept? What other truths do they need to accept? Let's get this one. Solitude. Yeah, you need to tune in, because I feel like when you have so many people around you giving you their opinions on how you should run your life or how you should act in your life, it's difficult for you to understand what you actually want to do. So you need to tune out other people's voices and just focus on yourself and what is best for you. Spiritual union. I feel like there's a soulmate connection that is in your energy, but that's also something you need to accept. I feel like you may have issues with self-worth, which is maybe why this soulmate connection is feeling sort of confusing, because I think for you, the idea that you can meet someone who loves you for you is weird, but it shouldn't be, because you're a beautiful person inside and out. Okay, I'll also look at step two. Step two, Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, so once you accept this truth, it's gonna be like, okay, now it's time to get to work. And I feel like you're gonna be excited by the idea that there's so many things that you can do. And it might feel like you just slip right back into what you were doing as a child. Because like, let's say, for example, as a kid, you were painting and singing and dancing and playing basketball. It's like as soon as you decide, you know what, I want to go back to doing all those things at the same time, or investing in all those things at once, like it's gonna feel so natural to you. It's gonna feel like you've never stopped. Let's look at step three. Let's also look at step. Ooh, this thing flipped like 3 times. We have the Knight of Cups. Someone who's genuine. like you're going to meet someone who's genuine. I wonder why, or I wonder if the reason why like a soulmate connection keeps coming up is because a soulmate is going to lead you to your dream job, or at least a job that is going to lead you to another job, which can be your dream job. That's sort of what it feels like at this moment. Okay. Okay, let's get another deck. Okay, so let's look at current challenges and obstacles. Current challenges and obstacles. Current challenges and obstacles. We have the Two of Wands. Yeah, I think it's just like the whole thing with choices. Like, you don't know. It's difficult to plan things out when you like so many different things. Especially because I think that for you, what you decide to do is also dependent on how you feel, or like the mood that you're in. Like, let's say, for example, you have 5 hobbies. You may only like to do one of those hobbies in the summer. You may also like to only do one of those hobbies on Fridays and Saturdays. Like, it might be difficult for you to plan out doing all these things because of how dependent they are on like your mood or the season or the day. And because of the fact that this is feeling very hobbyish, this reading, this feels like you turning a hobby into a career, or it feels like you already work a job, but there are hobbies you have that could later on down the line become careers if you wanted to. Okay, I can see this in many different ways. Okay, maybe you could be wanting this hobby to replace your current job. Any more challenges? Geez, that came out quick. 10 of Swords. Maybe you're like, you don't want things to end. I'm kind of wondering if the reason why you have so many interests is because you hold on to those interests even when you don't feel like doing them anymore. It's very interesting energy. It's cool. And I wonder if you're someone who, like, let's say, for example, you like to crochet, and like when you haven't crocheted in a while, you're like, my crochet needles miss me. It's like you have so much passion and love for your hobbies that even when you don't feel like doing them, you still might have them near you, like the tools for the hobby, or you may still think about them or do research on them just to show them appreciation. I feel like you view your hobbies and the tools for your hobbies as like sentient. You pour so much love and care into them even when you aren't like actively pursuing the hobby. So I think that's also my way to be like, spirit may say, I know you can't, maybe you can't do all of them at once because you do seem very multi-talented. But it's almost like that, well, I was going to say jack of all trades is master at none, but I feel like that's one of those quotes that has an ending that kind of makes the first part like null. But yeah, I'm not saying you have to give up all your hobbies, but like find a few that like you're always interested in doing, or find a few that maybe are like you're better able to turn into a career. Okay, see current advantages. 6 of Wands, and you have Temperance. I feel like maybe the hobbies that you're into, they might already have notoriety. Like with the crocheting example, there was a time when like everyone was crocheting, and like if you posted a video of a crochet or something you crocheted, it would get like a ton of views. So what you do can be something like that, where it could be getting some buzz right now. But then with Temperance, I feel like even if you're engaging with a hobby that has a lot of buzz, you're still going to be humble. That's just who you are. You're a very humble person. Also, you're great at taking care of yourself. Some of the hobbies you're into, they might be very stressful or very tough on the body. Like I said like a sport before. So if you're someone who's also engaged in a sport, you're very great at taking care of yourself, your body, which is going to be helpful for you. And so people who can help them in terms of getting a new job. People who can help them. We have the Page of Cups. And you keep getting cards like about children. Like Page of Cups can consider like a child. Oh, and I was gonna say maybe you have a child, and then the Empress, the pregnant Empress, is on the bottom. There could be something that your child inspired you to do. Like, you know how there are people who, once they became a parent, like, I don't know, maybe they realized that there were no good bibs for babies and they made their own. It's something like that where you either, you know, the pregnancy experience or the parenting experience led you to create a tool or a system that you think could be beneficial to other people. Okay, I do think that, and I know even though this question is about like people who can help you, I think it's like your kids, not in the sense that you're gonna be having them like working a 9 to 5 creating baby bibs, but I do think that they inspired you to create a tool or system that could be beneficial to other parents. So that's basically why you're like the energy of a child keeps coming up, because they're helping you, or they gave you this idea, they inspired you, they inspired this, taking care of them inspired this. Yeah, any other people who can help? Four of Swords. I'm kind of wondering if there's like, if you created like a special crib or like a special swaddle, I don't know, but because there's people who can help is turning into like more of like energies that can help, like the energy of sleep, and the energy of peacefulness. Maybe there's like a gadget you created or are interested in creating that helps put babies to sleep, like a special kind of rocker or a special kind of what's that thing that twirls around their crib, something like that. Okay, because there's a lot of energy of like peacefulness, but also children and also innocence. So that's really what it feels like. So tell me some skills I need to work on. Skills I need to work on. Skills I need to work on. We have 5 of Wands. You maybe need to work on having healthy conflict. I feel like with you either avoid conflict entirely, or when you get in conflict, you like it's very easy for you to go on like attack mode. So you need to learn how to have have healthy conflict, yeah. And also you need to learn how to work with people who work differently than you. I feel like you're someone who, you have a particular vision and you need it to come out that way, but there are some times where another person may have a better idea of making that happen. And I know that that's like scary, because it seems like you pursued a venture that didn't end up working out because of someone who you thought you could trust. But there are people in this world who can make your vision better, can make your vision brighter. And I don't want you to be afraid for the rest of your life of working with people, okay? Because you can work with people in a healthy way, in a way that's beneficial for you and your business. Skills they need to work on. Oops. Skills they need to work on. King of Wands, leadership. Because I kind of do see you like being the head, or how am I trying to say, y'all? Like being the head of a business, being the CEO. But you're also going to like inspire people to do the same. Like, I feel like you're someone who is going to be to the community of new mothers what like Sid's awareness was to the community of new mothers. Like now everyone knows about SIDS, but in the past that was sort of a thing where it's like, we're gonna have our babies sleep among a bunch of toys and sleep covered up with blankets. Like, they didn't have knowledge of SIDS awareness because it wasn't a thing. You know, people didn't I mean, it was a thing, but people didn't talk about it. Like, they didn't talk about SIDS because they didn't think there was anything wrong with the way they were like handling their kids. But now that people know that, they act differently. At least most people do. But I feel like you are going to create something for parents that is really going to change things, and it might create a lot of copycats. It might lead to you running into people who might basically steal your idea, or well, not really steal your idea because like you're going to put it out before them, but like they're going to try to imitate what you've done, never to the extent that you did it, but they're going to try. So you just learn how to have healthy conflict with people, because I kind of wonder if you are going to end up like suing people for like infringing on your whatever. I'm not a lawyer, but you know what I mean. Like you're going to create something that is so great for parents or so great for pregnant people or pregnant mothers that it's going to change things for the better. Okay, where do they need to look? Where can they look for jobs? Oh wait, no, let me get the other deck for that. Hey Spirit, where can they look for jobs? Where can they look for jobs? Empress. Again, this is like mother. So we have Empress and Empress. It's like you don't have to look because you've already gone through this. Where to stop looking? Where should they stop? Oh, jeez. Where should they stop looking? The moon. And also, I think the moon, no, that was the sun that came up before. Wheel of Fortune. Maybe stop looking in places that seem too easy. Because I think that after what you've gone through, you may be looking to pursue an idea or pursue a job that's easy, but I don't think you're supposed to do as easy. You're supposed to do something that doesn't make sense at first, but then it makes sense to people. It's like SIDS awareness. At first, it was like, what are you talking about? We've never heard of this. And now it's like, people are like, you have to do this so your child doesn't pass away of SIDS. Right? So don't be afraid of doing what's hard just because you tried to do it before and it didn't work out. Things change, circumstances change, you change. Okay, and with Wheel of Fortune, I feel like you may have this idea in your head that I can't do the risky thing again because I tried that before. I took a calculated risk and it still didn't work. So now, should I just stop taking risks altogether? No. It's not, you should not be doing what's easy right now. You should be doing what's best for you, and it may not make sense to you or other people, but it's what's best for you. Remember how I said before, you have to stop listening to so many voices because it's confusing you. It's making you question what you're meant to do, what you're meant to bring about. And what you're meant to bring about is so important that you cannot question it. Okay? So don't be afraid of doing what doesn't make sense. Don't be afraid of, oh my God, I told people about this calculated risk that didn't work. Now I'm taking another risk. Am I going to lose friends? Are people going to think I'm crazy? Listen, like I said before, things change. In order to know, how would I say this? Like, I have a few things to say. You don't know what will work until you figured out what doesn't work. Okay, that's number one. Number two, because you worked so hard before and it didn't work, now you understand that, you know, hard work doesn't always lead to success. And I know that may seem daunting, but it can also be comforting in a way, because there are so many people who assume that failure is the result of not trying hard enough, but some things are genuinely out of our hands. And let me tell you this, what is in your hands, what is meant to happen for you, is for you to create something that is going to improve the lives of parents, okay? Improve the lives of pregnant mothers, pregnant people. You are meant to create that, and there's no one who can stop that. Like, there are things you can do to make it easier for that to happen, but this is your purpose, and you cannot stop someone's purpose. I mean, outside world can't stop it, okay? And even you, like, this is something that is going to be so fundamental to who you are, this project, this venture, that it can't be stopped. It cannot be stopped. So just understand that, okay? For the other groups, I like looked at jobs you can do, but this reading is so clear what you're supposed to do, okay? It does seem like there's something about a soulmate. So I wonder if you're a single parent. Yeah, if you are, I see a soulmate in the cards. If you're currently with someone who, like, you know they're not your person, please do not be afraid to leave because you have a soulmate in your energy. And if you're with someone who treats you amazingly, then congratulations, you're with your soulmate. Okay, I'm so happy for you. I really am. Right? Now let me get some Power of Surrender cards. This reading was so beautiful. Surrender the drama. No matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. Remember, we have Temperance here, which talks about being centered. And also this Empress, she's like pretty rooted, right? She's on a stump. She's surrounded by nature. So I think you being out in nature might be helpful to you. But also just finding a way to stay centered, finding a way to stay calm is going to be helpful. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life, you know? Like what we've been saying the whole reading. You tried something, it didn't work out, but it doesn't mean you can't try again. Okay? Surrender to silence. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. Yeah, I think meditation can be helpful. You know, we had something about sleep here, so I think sleep can be healing for you. Make sure you're getting enough rest, but also meditation before sleep can be helpful. Meditation after sleep can be helpful. It's up to you, okay? Thank you so much for watching this. I love your energy. You're a beautiful person. Keep going, okay? What you're going to create is going to change a lot of people's lives. A lot of people's lives, okay? Thank you so much for watching this reading. I hope you have an amazing day. See you later. Bye. Pile number 4, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let us get started. Okay, so first card we have 4th house with origins. We have research. You're doing some genealogy or something. We have rejoice and celebration in reverse. We have child, beginnings, innocent, brand new, creativity, spontaneous, carefree, inexperienced, tender, new perspective, girl. We have maverick, rule breaker, independent, bold, rebel, nonconformist, fearless, unconventional, outside the box, defiant, loose cannon, risk taker. We have trust. We have financial constraints, the crumbling, what are you clinging to? Embracing worthiness. I feel worthiness filling every cell of my body and it feels amazing. Guys, I try so hard to make this look nice. Okay, hearing inner guidance. My intuition flows whenever I am still. There we go. Okay, so let me start off with these two because it's like, I don't know if you're researching your history or something, or I don't know if you're like breaking a generational curse or something, because we have child on this side and maverick on this side. I feel like you're naturally someone who doesn't just believe what someone says because of the fact that they're sitting as fact, or because of who they are. Like, you could be talking to the president of the United States. If they say something, you're going to go and research it. You don't take things at face value. And I think for some people that can be incredibly intimidating, because there are people who want you to just take their words at face value, but you're like, nope, I need to go research that. I think even this may have caused discord within your household because you question everybody. It doesn't matter if that's your friend. Doesn't matter if that's the person you sleep next to every night. If they say something that doesn't make sense to you, you're gonna ask them more about it. That may have caused, like I said, drama in the household, drama with friends, chaos with relationships. Then we have financial constraints. That could also be why you're in a situation where your money isn't doing so well, is because you're not going to work for a job where you feel like you're doing one over on people. You're not going to work for a job where you feel like you're exploiting people, or where you feel like you're not doing things to help people, where you feel like you're not doing things to help bring truth forward. Because, you know, the word truth isn't anywhere here, but I feel like you are a truth teller. You know, you need to get down to the bottom of things. You need to be able to trust that what's in your head is factual. And I feel like that, and having like a high paying job, feels so antithetical to you. It's like, I don't think that can happen. I feel like even though you're someone who's a rule breaker, like there might still be something you do or something you think about that is still very traditional. Like maybe you're someone who, like, I don't know, like maybe you're someone who your foot is always on your parents' neck about, you know, not believing conspiracy theories, but you love a good, like, I don't know, Mandela effect video or something like that, you know, something like that. Um, but I feel like that doesn't mean anything bad. It just means you're human, right? Like you can discount something while also realizing why people may believe certain aspects of it, right? I feel like that's who you are. You're not someone who's just like, oh, you guys are stupid for believing things aren't truthful. It's like you get why they believe it. You just wish they wouldn't believe it. Okay? Yeah, you're just very, very smart. I feel like whoever you work with, they trust you a lot because of the fact that you're just so smart, and because they know that if they need facts, they come to you. And I feel like with the crumbling, this could be you, like this could be you maybe being disadvantaged because you're a truth teller, but I think it could also be you helping other people smash illusions, right? It could be a twofold thing. Like it's hard being the person in the room who only accepts facts. It can be very lonely, but it can also be the catalyst for other people um, wanting to be more rooted in facts than fiction, right? That was quick. I feel like you are just a very cut and dry person. It's like what you see is what you get. Okay. Let's get into the tarot. Let's do step 1 for getting a new job. Jesus, that was quick. Queen of Cups. Yeah, compassionate. You're already pretty compassionate, but you might need to tap into that for the job in order to get a job. You have Tower, which was basically the last card, you know, the crumbling. That's basically the Tower card. Yeah, I feel like you smash illusions with your compassion, because think about it. Would you rather someone tell you the truth with compassion, or tell you the truth and then call you an idiot afterward, right? You're gonna listen to the first person. I feel like that's who you are. Like you teach people through love, you teach people through compassion, and you don't see yourself as better than someone else just because they believe things that you don't believe. And that's what's gonna help you get a job. Like your compassion, your ability to stand beside people even if you don't agree with them, even if you don't really fully understand why they believe what they believe, you still treat them with compassion. Step 3, the World. Yep, it's gonna come full circle. Because remember how it's like you had a Tower moment, right? Like with the poor finances and things like that. It's like the thing that hurt you is also the thing that's gonna help you. Like you being too honest could be what's making it difficult for you to get jobs, but I feel like you being too honest is going to bring in the job that's best for you. Okay? So don't change yourself, okay? Never change. I feel like I heard in my head like I was never going to. So it's like you're the type of person where it's like even if you being too honest is costing you jobs, you're like, I don't care. I'm not gonna stop being honest. Okay, current challenges and obstacles. What's their current challenge? Current challenges and obstacles. The Devil. Yeah, it's like you do not want to feel stuck. Like you don't want to feel like people are controlling you. Like you're not a puppet, right? You don't need no one's hand up your butt. Like you speak for yourself. Okay, no one's gonna speak for you. No one's gonna try to convince you of something. Like no, you have your own mind. You think for yourself. You're not a follower. You're a leader. So I think that's been difficult for you because having a job, like I said earlier, it feels so antithetical to your beliefs and your values. It's like, I have to follow people. Like I have to act like I care about this. I want to be doing something else. Like, yeah, Page of Pentacles. I can't tell if this is someone who, like, their challenge is them being undereducated, or if their challenge is them being overeducated in one field but undereducated in a field that would actually be better for them. Okay, but the education is a challenge here. Maybe like what you know isn't applicable to the job market. Like maybe the knowledge you have is very niche. Like, do you have training in like emergency and disaster response or something? I don't know why I'm getting that. I guess because like the multiple tower moments and the compassion and the coming full circle, it just, I don't know. I feel like your skills, they're extremely important, but I just feel like for certain jobs, they might look at it and be like, what is this? But like for, in like the field of like emergencies, it might be like, oh my God, like we need a guy like this, or we need a woman like this, or a person like this. So I don't know. I feel like that it seems like that's a barrier. It's like if you were to sign up for the field you studied to get into, you would be overqualified. But if you signed up for any other job, you would be underqualified because you don't have like a general education sort of thing. It's like your knowledge is very niche. It's extensive. I mean, it's extensive in that niche, if that makes sense. But yeah, I wonder, like, do you have experience in like CPR or like law enforcement? I mean, maybe not law enforcement, but just like emergency response. Like, are you an EMT? I don't know. Should I cover this person up? Because I know people do that. But I'm covering all of her up. I'll do that. Okay. Knight of Swords. Yeah, Knight of Swords. And then it is, let's see current advantages. What are some advantages? They kind of want me to go back to challenges. What are some other challenges? Three of Wands. I feel like when it's saying like you have no issue waiting for the right job. Like you feel like there's no rush at all. You're not rushing. I don't know. I feel like you have a very like what's meant to be will be mindset. Like you're not worried. The Wheel of Fortune came out like destiny. It's like, yeah, that's a challenge for you because it's like you could be so focused on the idea of destiny and what will be and what will be. What's that? I thought we just said it, guys. I'm tired, okay? And you know, the idea of fate and destiny, but sometimes destiny needs your help. So don't forget about that. There are still sometimes when you need to take action. Destiny, like if you, let's say for example, if your dream is to become a therapist and that's your purpose, you can't just sit in bed all day. You have to go to school. So it's like, yeah, destiny is destiny and fate is fate, but sometimes destiny and fate need your help. They need you to do something to make things happen. Let's go to current advantages. Seven of Wands. You have no problem fighting for what you want. Like, even though you have no issue waiting for a job, if you want a job, you will fight tooth and nail to get it. And also you are great when it comes to your jobs. Like you're protective of people. I wonder if you've worked as like a union representative or something like that, but it's like you work hard to protect the people of your job or like defend your job or defend your position. You're also great at working with other people. Advantages, Five of Pentacles. Your current advantage is not having money or like, I'm kind of wondering if this is an advantage because someone may give you a job because they know you're broke. I know that sounds like kind of rude, but I feel like that might be what it is. Like someone might feel bad for you and they might give you a job. So that might be something that's going, that might actually be going for you right now. Five of Wands. Like not being afraid of conflict or like, it's so weird because there are skills you have that like, it's like what I said before, how with the skills you have, they're so niche that it makes you overqualified in one field, but then like severely underqualified in many other fields. And I feel like it's the same thing with this, where it's like, in other fields, these two things were like, oh, like this person is desperate or like this person is like rude. But I feel like in the job that's meant for you, you kind of needing the job and you also being maybe a little bit argumentative might actually work well. I don't know what job that is, but sounds cool to me. Okay, I like to spice things up. people who can help. No, let's just get more current advantages, Spirit. There's some current advantages. The Sun. Yeah, it's like, this is just, again, you being a truth teller. Like, you tell it like it is. And I feel like there are some people that really appreciate that. Like, that might be what this is. Like, you may argue with people a lot, but they appreciate your honesty. So when you get this job, you might be worried that they won't like you because of your honesty. And like, it might make things difficult for people, but they'll still, at the end of the day, appreciate your honesty. We have 9 of Swords. Why is so, it's like, again, it's like these things are usually negative, quotation mark, here are coming out as advantages for you. So I don't want you to think that you don't have any characteristics that would be good for a job, because you do, okay? Especially the job that's meant for you, you definitely do. But why would you being anxious be good for a job? Anxious and poor? Maybe it's because like you'll understand the people you're working with. Because remember I said you might work with like emergency and disaster response. So I wonder if like you having experienced that, you know, being anxious, you know, not having much can help you work with those populations. Okay, let's look at people who can help. People who can help. The Hanged Man. It's almost like someone whose hands are tied. Or someone who sees you differently than other people see you. Who doesn't just see you as like a person who's honest and kind of and a little bit mean sometimes. Like they see you as someone who gets things done, as someone who's honest and actually loves people, loves talking to people, loves helping people. Okay, so don't go for people who, like, I know how I said before, like, you don't take things at face value. You need to go to a job where, like, the people interviewing you know that there's more to you, not the jobs where the people interviewing you assume that what they see on that day is all you are, because that's not true. You need to work with people who are just as honest as you, if not more, and just as interested in honesty and finding out the truth of a person as you. Okay, skills they need to work on. What skills they need to work on? We have the Page of Cups. Maybe thinking outside the box. I think that sometimes you are very logical, and that's a great thing, but it's also important to incorporate emotion with that logic every now and then, just so you're able to better help people, okay? Like you may meet people who, you know, don't have a lot, but they have very big dreams, and like your first thought may be like, why don't they, you know, why are they shooting for the stars? But it's like sometimes that comforts people, you know, having something to dream about. So just remember that when you're helping people. Let's see. Where should they look for a job? Where should they look for a job? I kind of already said, like, look, you know, for people who see you genuinely. But let's see. Where should they look for a job? We have the Star. Yeah, there's a lot of nudity here. God, I don't mind it. I just don't want like YouTube to strike my video. Okay. The Star. I feel like maybe looking in places that are like obvious. This could be talking about like, you know, job sites that are known. But with the emergency and disaster response, it's like you can't help but hear that. Like when you go outside in New York City, all you hear are sirens, right? It's in your face. And then after a while it becomes background noise, but it's still a part of the city vibe. So I kind of am leaning towards like jobs where you're helping people in emergencies. You know? But I do feel like it's like a front-facing job. And because like that person is nude, it is a job that, you know, you're witnessing people in like their most vulnerable moments, and it's easy for you to even maybe get vulnerable too, because how can you not when you're in that type of job? I guess when you've been in that job for a while, you kind of get used to it, but like you might be helping people on their worst days, and that requires vulnerability from them, but also a little bit from you, you know? Where should they look for a job? Seven of Wands. Yeah, I feel like a place where there's like a lot of competition, or like a lot of people apply. And you know, I feel like a lot of people apply for like EMTs and things like that. So yeah, like I'm not trying to just make it seem like that's the only job here, but it's like that's what it sounds like. It sounds like emergencies. It sounds like a career where people who are, you know, in dire financial straits and people who are good at yelling might be helpful. Like maybe you're good at directing people. This could even be like hostage negotiation. Well, I mean, I guess hostage negotiation, you kind of need to be calm. But I don't know. I feel like you're great at, you do well in stressful situations, but you also understand what it's like to have anxiety. So that's what makes you good for these type of jobs that are like very high stress. Um, yeah. It could even be like a nurse or something like that, or doctor. But I'm kind of leaning more towards like emergencies. And you can work in like trauma. Okay, where should they stop looking for jobs? The Sun. Wait, oh, okay, so where to look, that's like night, like the photos are both dark, and this is in the light. So I feel like maybe you should consider working night jobs. Like, I mean, if there's something you're interested in, it's like if you genuinely think that will not be good for you, then disregard this part of the reading. But like, I think you might want to consider working a night job or a night shift, or jobs that have like predominantly night shifts and maybe some day shifts. Where to stop looking? Yeah. So it's like two cards where it's light out, and then two cards where it's dark out. Yeah, so I feel like also with Eight of Pentacles, this sometimes talks about like apprenticeship and like mentoring. Maybe move away from jobs that are where like you're like building stuff. I don't know if for a while you were you know, doing architecture or something like that, but it's like that might not be the job for you. And also maybe at a time you were trying to help people build their businesses, that might also not be good for you, okay? You might want to work for like local places that are established, like the local emergency station, like the local fire department, stuff like that, okay? Like for the first two readings, I looked at like jobs that would be best for you, but it's like it seems like it's coming out. It's like it's emergency response. It could also be military, okay? Because Knight of Swords, that's usually a warrior. Even Three of Wands is giving like warrior vibes a little bit, you know. And Seven of Wands. So yeah, it could also be military. Okay. Power of Surrender card. Surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring you clarity or even solve the problem. Oops, that came out easily. Surrender defensiveness. Defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out, then offer a clear, non-defensive response. Yeah, so you don't want to go into a career where you're just like yelling at people, but it's like you have to learn how to get people to listen to you without being aggressive, okay? And you can be good in conflict and also know how to speak to people in a regressive, in a non-aggressive way. I don't know why I said regressive. Did I say? I forgot what I said, guys. Sorry, I'm tired. Last one. Surrender to rest and sleep. To prevent burnout, slow down, honor your need for quiet time and peaceful sleep to rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. So yeah, don't be afraid to slow down. Remember I said like you are going to end up working likely like a high stress job. So you need to have a really great like self-care routine. You need to take care of yourself, okay? Make sure that that is like a priority, right? Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a great day. And yeah, thank you. Bye. Pile number 5. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let us get started. So first we have the 6th house with service. We have self-satisfaction. We have patience and planning. Garden, public venue, society, crowds, audience, party, meeting, event, a date, community, outdoors, playing the field. We have stars, wishes do come true, peace, miracle, dreams, feeling blessed, hopeful, falling in love, nighttime, inspiration, providence. Okay, then we have megaphone, go public, be heard, shine, spotlight, publish, amplify, broadcast, wider audience, speak up, increase visibility, bold, major announcement. You have selfish. Okay, and then we have magician in the mirror. Then we have sisterhood of the rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. We have expanding inner power. I am my most powerful and my creativity is given a voice. Okay, so we have a lot of things about you speaking up, right? Because, you know, with megaphone and then I am my most powerful and my creativity is given a voice. And then even with garden, public venue, society, crowds, audience, party, you might be someone who hosts a lot of events. You seem like a very important person in society. Like people know who you are. They expect a lot from you. Maybe you're held to a higher standard than other people. And that could be very daunting. Okay, you have self-satisfaction, but then also selfish. So people may see you as selfish. They may also see you as like vain, which is interesting because we have service. I guess it just means job, but I don't know. Maybe you work a job that people see as very self-serving, right? Like what kind of job can that be? Like, I don't know, or like a job that people may see as very vain. Like some people view being a model or a makeup artist as like very vain jobs, or like a beauty influencer. But those are just opinions, okay? The only reason I say beauty is because we have beauty and devotion here, and then perfume, and then selfish. I think that selfish from like is kind of reminds you like self-centered, and people may view someone who's very focused on their beauty and their appearance as self-centered, which is not always the case. You know, anyone has the propensity to be self-centered, whether they're obsessed with their appearance or not. But I do feel like you have a lot of influence on people. So are you like a beauty influencer or something? And then we have the magician in the mirror. We have like some, you know, using different elements going on here. Whatever it is, like you created what you're doing right now from the ground up. That's why we have wishes do come true and patience and planning. Like it took you a long time to get to where you are now. And a lot of people may assume that it was given to you when it was not. People may also assume that like you're successful because you're pretty. And it's like, yeah, you're pretty, you're absolutely beautiful, but it's like you would be successful even if you weren't. Okay. Yeah. So if that energy sounds like you, then this is your reading. And let us continue. Okay, let's get the tarot out to get into how you are going to get a job. Let's look at step one. Step one for you getting a job. We have Four of Cups. I feel like you're going to take some time away from people you normally hang out with, or you may take a break from, you know, being an influencer or whatever it is that you currently do. You're going to take a break, and that's going to help you regroup and get another job. You may stop answering texts. You're just like in your own world. And then we have Emperor. I don't know if you went on like a retreat or something, like a spiritual retreat, but you're going to come back and you would have like bossed up or something. Okay. I feel like maybe every now and again you like to take time away for yourself to like just regroup so you can come back to your job that much stronger and like stronger of a leader. I feel like you want more. Like this is kind of giving off like Kim Kardashian energy or like Paris Hilton, where it's like maybe when they were younger, certain things were given to them, but it's like, no, I want more now. Like I don't just want to be a reality star. I want to own all these companies or whatever. I feel like that's what it was for you. Like, you could have went dormant. People are like, have you heard from so and so? Like, they're usually always posting, or we usually always hear from them. And you come out with like 3 new businesses in the span of a year or something like that. Step 3, we have 9 of Cups. And this is going to be very satisfying for you. And I see this too as like the same people. I feel like this is going to be your happy place. Like, people may see this as like just another way for you to be selfish and annoying and just like vain, but it's like, no, you actually enjoy what you're doing. You know how some people like accuse like you know, celebrities of not really being involved in their clothing lines or the makeup lines, and it's just their face and their name being used to make money. I feel like with you, you're actually going to be involved in the process. Okay, that's what's going to set you apart from other people. But I also want you to know, like, you don't have to prove to people that you aren't vain. Like, there are some people who you can literally be someone who is extremely humble, and they may still choose to believe that you're not. So like, don't spend your time trying to prove to people that you are something that you are. Okay, they may still not believe you, even if you prove it to them. And especially, there are sometimes when you prove something to someone but they don't want to admit that they were wrong, so they'll still keep acting like you're vain or you're this or you're that. Okay, so don't waste your time trying to prove things to people. Okay, let's look at current challenges. What are their current challenges? We have Queen of Wands. I think that for you, you may like, this is gonna sound weird, but I feel like sometimes you kind of don't like the fact that you're so pretty, because people may assume that you don't know what you're talking about, or people may assume that you're vain, or that you're just selfish. You know, you just want to create these businesses to make more money or whatever. But it's like, no, you actually enjoy what you're doing. People also underestimate you because you're pretty. Okay, what are some other challenges and obstacles? We have Judgment. I feel like maybe for a long time you've had difficulty understanding what your purpose is, because when you're someone who people try to define you using their own language and define you on their own terms, it may lead you to not understand who you actually are. Okay, because you're taking in so many opinions about yourself. So I feel like a challenge for you is being able to see not just yourself clearly, but the world clearly, because you spend so much time taking in what people think about you and taking in what people think of the way they think you think. And it makes you confused. It makes you question who you actually are, what you actually believe. Are you who you think you are? So that's also another challenge for you, because even if you create something that you're very passionate about, you may question, oh my God, am I just doing this because I'm selfish? Like people tell me I am? You're going to be questioning yourself a lot. Let's look at some current challenges. We have the 8 of Swords in reversed. Free. Like, you're free to do what you want. I feel like that's a challenge for you, because obviously not having the resources to create the business you want to create is hard, but also because you can create anything you want, it makes it difficult to figure out what you actually want. You know, it's not like one of those things where it's like, oh, you only have enough money to start a sticker business instead of a hair business. It's like, no, you have the money to not just do 1 or 2, but both and more. And I feel like that can be very daunting for you, because it's like, this is so interesting. It's a challenge because, oh, I think I get it. People may look at you and be like, they have all this money and they created this product that's garbage. I feel like that's what it is. It's like you have all these resources at your disposal, but there's still a possibility that you could fail. So it doesn't really matter that you have all those resources at your disposal. At least it doesn't feel like it does. Okay, let's look at current advantages. I think there's also an element like you not wanting to put your money in the wrong place. Even if you're able to recoup, no one wants to lose their money, right? You have 7 of Pentacles for current advantages. You're very patient. Like, you don't mind it taking 5-6 years or even a decade for your business to get off the ground. You really don't care because you want it to be long lasting. And it's like this person's making their stuff by hand. That's what people don't get. You are self-made, okay? You have no problem getting your hands dirty. Like, you're a princess, but like, you could also get your hand, put your hands in the dirt, you know what I mean? Current advantages, 3 of Swords. It's like, you've gotten tough because you had to be. People are so critical of you that, like, you don't really care what they have to say, but how do I say this? Like, people are so critical of you that you're still going to pursue what you want to pursue regardless of the criticism. But that doesn't mean that the criticism doesn't affect you sometimes, right? It's like what I was saying before, that the criticism might lead you to worry about choosing what business to invest in or what business to create, because you're worried that people are going to be like, dang, it came out like that, and she has all that money, all those resources, it came out like that. But you still try your best to not let the criticism get to you, because if it did, you wouldn't be doing all that you're doing. Current advantages, you have 6 of Wands. It's the fact that you are so visible to people. That's an advantage in your business, your job. Okay, let's look at people who can help. Let's look at people who can help you. King of Cups. Someone around you who's very diplomatic, who sees you as more than someone who's just a pretty face, sees you as more as someone who's a business owner. Like, they see all of you. They see the parts of you that other people don't see. And they're also someone who, like, they may cook for you. Like, they care for you a lot. They may check up on you, ask you how you're doing, and you might be like, oh yeah, the business is going great. And you're like, no, I'm asking how you're doing. You know what I mean? They genuinely care about you. I feel like you're trying to build a business, or trying to build an empire. It doesn't feel like just a business. I feel like an empire you're trying to build, that starts off as a business. But I feel like the reason this person can help you is because they know how to gain the support of people who don't have a lot of money. Okay, because I think that there are some celebrities who start businesses with other celebrities in mind, but it's like, you also need to make sure that you have people in mind who can buy your product in droves if they are able to, if it's affordable. So I feel like because this person maybe has, like, maybe came from humble beginnings, or maybe just has a lot of ties to the community, they're able to maybe involve people who are working class, or lower middle class, or middle class, and just get their support for your business, and maybe encourage them to purchase, or you may like connect them with the community in a way that encourages people to purchase or support you. But yeah, they're gonna help you get the support you need. They may also be the ones that support you, but they may also just have ties to the community. Skills you need to work on. Wait, should I get the other one? Let me get the other deck. I'm gonna put this here. Let's look at skills you need to work on. Skills you need to work on. You have the Sun. I feel like shining. Like, I think some of you are afraid to shine because you are already seen as like vain and whatever, or selfish. So it's like you're afraid of being the center of attention because people already see you that way. But it's like, girl, you can't hide from the sun, okay? And another thing like that, I feel like you are maybe worried about being, how do I say this? Like, you might be worried about being honest with people because you might be afraid of them like dragging you or something, or like you might be afraid they'll start to see you as mean or childish. But it's like, you can be honest with someone and not let it turn into like a fiasco. You know what I mean? I feel like also just being more positive. I feel like sometimes the criticism can cause you to be like very negative and pessimistic. And that's not who you are at your core. At your core, you're the Queen of Wands. That's someone who's very positive. They do have great leadership qualities. There's someone who people are drawn to. And that's who you are. It's like the sun. People can be drawn to the sun. What do you think the summer is like? People stay on the beach so they can be in the sun. Or like they stay outside so they can be in the sun. So like people are drawn to the sun just like they're drawn to the Queen of Wands. And I think it would be beneficial to you to not be afraid of shining, to not be afraid of being positive and joyful. And also don't be afraid like of being joyful about what you have and what you possess. I think some people may see that as selfish, but it's like you earned it. And like you shouldn't have to hide yourself because of what other people may think about it. We have Queen of Wands again, so it's like, yeah, another skill you need to work on, just being your true self. It's like you really are like worried about shining because you don't want to dim other people, but like if you shining dims other people, then it's like, oh well, you don't like. Imagine if we live in a world where all of the people who naturally shine just stop shining to dim their light for other people. Then no one would shine. No one would be their true selves. So don't be afraid of shining. You're supposed to shine. And both these cards, they're wearing crowns on their head. Like you are that. You are the queen, okay? Know that. Don't be afraid of just being yourself. That really is just what it comes down to. Okay, so let me get one more for skills I need to work on. Where are some other skills I need to work on? The Fool. I feel like just being afraid to fail, being afraid of change and new beginnings. Don't be afraid of that, okay? I know it's easier said than done, but it's like, even if you fail, you learn things from that failure that can teach you how not to fail again. And also, the journey can be so much fun, even if it leads to failure. You know what I mean? So don't be afraid of that, okay? So where should they look for jobs? I feel like this is like you becoming an entrepreneur, so I already feel like you know what you're going to be doing because you're kind of already doing it. But where to look? Maybe look for a person who seems very unapproachable, but they actually do have a heart. It just might take you some time to get through it. And this person might also be older. They're also giving like fairy godmother vibes. So look for someone who is like, they take no shit, but they're also very protective. That person can help you. I know we said ever before, it's someone who can help. Wait, did we do that before? Someone who can help. I'm kind of trying to figure out, did I skip that? Current advantages. Yeah, I think I skipped people who can help. Okay, this can be someone who can help. This Queen of Swords. Where else do they need to look? I guess where you can look and someone who can help is the same person, because the person who can help you is the person who can help you get this job or help you create this business or help you create an empire or whatever. Where to look? We have Ace of Wands. Yeah, you're going to create something. You're supposed to create like a business or an empire. And this person who takes no shit but is very protective and can teach you a lot about the business, that's who you need to look for if you don't know them already. Okay, or at least like look out for them. Where should they stop looking? Temperance. It's almost like they have to stop looking in the place that's like a sure thing. Because maybe they were told by someone, hey, like, I can get you a job working for this celebrity or whatever. I feel like avoid jobs like that. Just because you're supposed to start something. You're not supposed to sort of piggyback off of someone else's success. I mean, you can learn from someone's success. They can mentor you. But it does seem like you're supposed to create your own business. And we have 10 of Cups, and where to stop looking. Yeah, you need to stop looking in places that are established. You need to stop looking in places where people are just hiring you to help themselves out. Like, no. You need to look at a place where someone's going to help you create your own thing. Okay, and we said you're a business owner. What is the business about? What are some themes of this business they are meant to create? What are some themes of this business they are meant to create? We have communicate through writing. Games are being played. So maybe it's like a business that like is very cutthroat and people may try to do things the easy way, even if it might not be legal. What is this business? Have fun with your love. Love is blooming. It could be like beauty products. Like, what else is involved with like love? Because I think beauty products, I think like, oh, you know, want to put on like a nice perfume for a date or something. What else is it? Clouded thoughts. We also have institution involved. Very interesting. Because it's Emperor, I'm kind of wondering if this is like not just your regular, you know, run-of-the-mill business, and it's more of like a something that you could possibly be helping the government with or something. Even though it's like yours, it's still your business, still your empire, but it's like you could be being helped by a larger institution. And have fun with your love, and love is blooming. Games are being played, and have fun with your love. It's a cutthroat industry, but it's also a very fun industry. I'm kind of wondering it could be like a party planning or like nightclub or, but then how would the government be involved in that? Child, there's a lot of ways that this can go. Because with games are being played and have fun with your love, love is blooming. Could also be like like a therapy sort of thing. Because like when you become a therapist, you have to get registered with the state. You know, that's kind of like institution involved. Yeah, that's what it feels like. I don't know. I thought it kind of sounded like you were famous for a little bit. I mean, you still could be, but yeah. And maybe what the reason why institution is involved is maybe you could be communicating with people from other countries. I mean, like if you're sending it through like a regular mail, I think does that have to be inspected? I'm not sure, but that could be another reason why. Very interesting. Okay. I still want to get more to figure out like what this is like specifically about, because I feel like those are very vague answers for like what this person is supposed to do, what you're supposed to do. Spirit, what career? Give me some career ideas for them. What directions to look? Butterfly and tree. These are very, I mean, like they're both part of nature, but it's like butterflies spreading their wings, or trees staying in the same place. I feel like, I wonder if you decide whether someone is allowed to do something, because sometimes I see the Queen of Swords as like the gatekeeper or the decider of someone's fate sort of thing. So I'm kind of wondering if you are going to be tasked with like either allowing someone to come into the country or not, or I don't know why I'm feeling like that. Because it's like either go, it's like butterfly, you're either they are able to go and change, or they have to stay in the same place. It's like you're the one who's going to be making those decisions about whether someone moves forward or stays in the same place. This is starting to feel very spiritual. Because it feels like this transcends like your typical jobs. I know I gave the one about like deciding whether someone's allowed into the country or not, but I feel like it's deeper than that, for sure. Like, you're the decider. Tell me more about that. Compass, true north, discovery, life path, seeking truth, direction, find your way, know where you're going, make a plan, explore. Tell me more about this, because you're the decider. That's what you are. Lighthouse, your inner guidance system, safe passage, illumination, the right direction, secure, plot a course, gain clarity, navigating obstacles. I feel like you might be in it, like guiding people in the right direction or something. Blueprints, careful planning, visionary building, firm foundations, idea, instructions, destiny, roadmaps, starting point, thoughts become things. Still fairly vague. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, here we have the scales, right? Here we have elements, water, fire. And then emperor, that's a lot of power. That's like a king or a president or just, you know, the head of an empire. Like, I don't know if it's like as crazy as like you're the decider of someone's fate, but I do feel like you are going to be working with people to determine whether they move forward with something or not. This could even be like, you know, maybe working with people who just got out of prison, working with people who are still in prison, who are trying to get out. I think something that Spirit's saying is that who you help, like deciding who to help, is going to be critical, because you don't want to be out here helping people who are going to, you know, move on and do the same thing again. Okay, you need to be very mindful about who you help. I do think you're supposed to show people the way, but that only comes as a result of you knowing yourself and you knowing the way. Because right now, you're still kind of confused, which makes sense as to why, you know, you're not showing up fully as the Queen of Wands. But once you know yourself, you're going to help other people know themselves. And that's going to lead them to their destiny. But you can't help everybody, okay? Like I said, this could be a lot of different careers. But the characteristics that stand out in this reading is that, like, you're going to have to get approvals from like government entities with like blueprints and institutions involved. And then also you are going to be helped by someone who's like very diplomatic and someone who is like part of the community. They want to be of service to people. You decide whether someone stays where they are or whether they're able to move forward. And let's see. And also, you knowing yourself is going to guide you to people who have difficulty knowing themselves, and you're going to have to choose whether you help them or not, whether you helped them to their destiny or not, okay? Because listen, you can't help everyone to their destiny. Some people, they need to be helped by people other than you, okay? So don't think that just because you don't decide to help people, that means you're a bad person. You have the choice to decide. You have the choice, or like you have a say in who you help and who you don't, okay? If you know you cannot fully help someone, the best thing you can do is decide not to help them, okay? So don't feel bad about that. But yeah, those are the characteristics of the job you're meant to have. You are meant to be a leader. Okay, it may not be like an empire that you're ahead of, but I do feel like you're meant to be a very strong leader. You're supposed to make decisions. You are going to make decisions that have an effect like on the world potentially, okay? It just feels like it's on a very big scale, but it's not going to feel like that as you're doing it. It's like the difference you're going to make in the world may feel very insular and may feel extremely small and minuscule until like later on in your life, okay? It's going to feel very day-to-day, like, oh, this is just what I do. I just go to work and whatever. But then it's like one day you're going to wake up and feel like you've made a very great, significant change in the world, okay? So if you feel like you haven't made a big change in the world right now, that's really how you're supposed to feel, because you're not supposed to get that feeling until later on, and you may not even feel it once it comes, because you are someone who's very humble and you always are wondering what you can do better. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this reading. Oh wait, I ain't even done. I'm tripping. Still done your reading. I still have to do the Power of Surrender cards. Okay, let's go to surrender your soul. Surrender to your soul's path. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson, every moment. Did I say something about like embracing the journey? Did I say that? That may have been for another group. I'm not sure, but there we go. Surrender worry. Make a commitment not to lead an anxiety-driven life. When worries arise, breathe them out of your body. Focus on the power of your heart and have faith that Spirit is guiding you always. Yeah, this journey is going to feel like a winding path. That's how it's supposed to be. So if you're confused on your journey, that doesn't mean you're not on the right path. I feel like for a lot of your journey, you're going to feel quite confused. You're going to feel very much like, am I doing the right thing? But it's just because you're being led in a direction that many people don't know of yet, that many people don't even know is an option yet in life. So you're going to be confused a lot of the time. Don't think you're not on the right path just because you're confused, okay? We have surrender, low self-esteem. You deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. Yes, okay? Remember, you are the Queen of Wands, okay? You are the decider. And because of the fact that this is a person who can help and is the Queen of Swords, I feel like you are going to be helped by someone who is also a gatekeeper, and they might mentor you in that. Okay? Or someone who is a gatekeeper and a decider of, you know, whether someone proceeds in life or whether they stay where they are, they're going to be the reason why you proceed, and that's going to inspire you to help other people in some way, shape, or form, okay? There's many ways this can go. That's just because if you chose this group, like your purpose is very huge, and sometimes when someone's purpose is very immense, it may seem very vague the way it's explained, just because like the experience that this will be is going to be like an experience that many humans have not ever experienced. Like the other readings felt more clear than this one, just because this is such a unique experience and unique path, okay? So like I said, if you're confused on this path, you're doing the right thing, okay? I feel like there's very few times on this path where you're gonna be like, I'm 100% doing the right thing, okay? You're gonna feel like that, and it's okay. Thank you so much for watching this reading. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.